evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 8, Episode 4, DJI Mavic 4 Pro update. Hope everyone is doing well. We got a house full already tonight. Got Drone Nation here, Akarasho, Joe America, see Bud Bieber, Dr. Ted, Waypoint New England, John Flynn. Welcome, John. See Trini. Welcome, Trini. Good to see you. Richard is here. Welcome, Richard. Let's see who else we got. CT Pirate is here. Let's see who else we got. Giggles FPV. Good to see you tonight. Let's see who else. And Waypoint New England. All right, we're all set here. Okay, wow. Got a lot. We really do have a lot to talk about. Ron's going to join me here in just a little bit. Had some news about the New Jersey drone sightings today. We're going to get to that. Just got a lot going on here. First thing that I wanted to run by you guys today is this. This is a shameless promotion, okay? I did sell my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 Creator Combo. I also have for sale my DJI Osmo Action 4 Combo for sale right now. And I had it selling for $250. I dropped that down to $225 plus $25 for shipping. It comes with everything that you see here. And what I will do is this. For those of you who are watching, all right, if one of you were to buy it, you send me an email saying, I heard Bill say there'll be no shipping charge. So this is only for those of you who are currently watching the show right now. I will waive the shipping, so it'll be $225 and you're good to go. It's PayPal with you have to have a confirmed address on PayPal. It's for United States buyers only, and of course, there's no returns. So good luck on that. It's a fantastic camera. I'm getting a 5. That's the short and the long of that. So, okay. All right. Got that handled right now. So, again, we had some updates on the New Jersey drone sightings, or what that was. We're going to get to that here in just a little bit. Got a lot to talk about. And you would think, and see, I kind of think, it's Chinese New Year right now, and they're on holiday. And I think it's about a week and a half. I'm not exactly sure how long, but it's fairly significant. They take a good chunk of time off for that. So, but I didn't think we'd hear any news, but we got some news. Just go figure. Go figure. Audio echo, Bill. Okay. Maybe a little better now. I don't know. We'll try. Okay. All right. Let's get to the first article here. All right. DJI enhances 2 popular drones with firmware releases. All right. The DJI Flip and the DJI Air 3S. All right. Now, the article's really just a lot of fluff. For current owners of the Flip and the Air 3S, it's advisable to install these firmware updates to ensure optimal performance and benefit from the latest improvements. The actual updates themselves, you can read the version numbers here, primarily focus on fixing known issues to enhance overall performance and stability. While these updates do not introduce major new features, they reflect DJI's ongoing dedication to improving user experience, addressing any operational concerns promptly. So really, it's just more FYI, probably fixing some minor bugs and that kind of thing. That's what you would see come up. Excuse me. That's what you would see come up when you bring the firmware update up. So that's really kind of all that is right there. So, okay. All right. Now, a lot of people, and this, again, all these articles are out on Bill the Drone Reviewer, and most of the articles here are from Drone DJ. I do have one from Drone XL. All right. People are still getting drones stuck at customs, and Drone DJ had a great article here and went into why. DJI, a quick search through user forums will show plenty of customers sharing their issue of orders being stuck at ports of entry as Customs and Border Patrol holds the drones for clearing them of any issues. The problem at hand, CBP, for some reason, believes that DJI is assembling its drones using forced labor in the Zhang region of China. DJI repudiates the claim as their only manufacturing facilities are in Shenzhen in Malaysia. Okay. However, the new Customs and Border Patrol policy to hold DJI products, which become noticeable in the Air 3S release, but spread to many other drones like the Flip and the Mini 4 Pro, is linked to the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act. Okay, what is there to do if your drone is stuck in customs? Well, it doesn't seem to be a permanent prison for DJI drones, but we've not seen a case like that that hasn't been cleared. However, it can take weeks, even more than a month, for drones to move on and into the hands of those who purchase the product. DJI Mini delivery services don't take into account customs checks in their delivery timelines. So if you're ordering a product not already in the U.S. warehouse, the delivery timeline given by DJI might be wrong. Sadly, there are not many customers, or the delivery service, there's probably not much what they're saying delivery service can do to move this Customs and Border Patrol along. Only CBP agents can make the decision when a product is cleared for import. Only DJI has the paperwork and information needed to hopefully clear the issue once and for all. Customers are then stuck waiting it out, feeling stressed. If you're in the market for a new DJI drone, unless you're ordering from a third-party retailer that has it in their own warehouse, you might want to add a few weeks to your delivery expectations in case you have a deadline when you need it. Okay, will cause the change. No official reason. However, the new administration in Washington, obviously everybody knows that, and this was going on back in October 2024. So, one of the things that I can tell you with this, it doesn't. I would contact DJI support, and I would do it either via chat, via phone, via email. Probably by phone is probably what you would want to do in this instance, because as the article says, they're the ones that hold the paperwork that will get the drone released, and keep pushing them for a status on this. Another possible solution that they mentioned in here as well too. Hey Johnny, welcome, good to see you. Another possible solution, Scott Nadell, welcome Scott, good to see you this afternoon too. Thank you for joining. Another possible solution is to order from like a third party, okay? And some of the, obviously, like if Best Buy would have it, or Adorama, or B&H Photo, but then there's companies like DroneWorks and some other ones like that are third parties that buy these drones and that have them on hand. You may want to look at that as a possible solution as well. And figure the drones that are probably in question right here are going to be things like the Air 3S, going to be the Flip and the Neo. I would say older drones, prior to that, like the Mavic 3 Pro, the Air 3, and other ones, they're going to be in stock in U.S. warehouses. So you're really not going to have that kind of an issue and that kind of a problem because they're already sitting here. Okay, they don't come from China. Things like the Mini 4 Pro, Mavic 3 Pro. I'm throwing a couple of them out there. The Air 3, they're here stateside. All right, and now I'll give you an example here. When I was having issues when I got my 2 replacements for the Air 3S, they both came from Canada, believe it or not. Okay, second time was a charm because that's the one that works. And I have an FYI, shameless plug, I have a video coming out on a flight with the Air 3S. That's good. I already reviewed it, so that's going to come out in the next couple of days. So, but all in all, this is just some tips and some advice. Is if you're ordering and it's going to come directly from DJI itself, you may just be prepared to wait. It may not be a week. It may be 2, 3, 4 weeks. If you're ordering like a Neo, a Flip, or an Air 3S right now. If you're ordering something else, more than likely it's going to come from their U.S. warehouse and be here in stock. Or, use Best Buy, Adorama, B&H Photo, DroneWorks, one of those other kind of places. Excuse me. Those would be the choices that I would go. So. Okay. All right. Well, that's just some heads up for you guys, just to kind of let you know. I thought it was important to go over that. I know we talked about this last week, but I still wanted to bring it up too. And I did talk to Marcus a little bit about this. DJI Flip versus Neo, which beginner drone takes the crown? Design and portability. The Neo is celebrated for its ultra compact and lightweight design. The Flip features a unique folding design. Camera capabilities, we know that the Flip is probably going to have a better camera than the Neo. Flight performance and features. The Flip introduces more advanced flight modes and safety features. Battery life, price, and value. It's comparing them right here. The Flip obviously weighs more, has a better camera, sensor size, time in the air, the intelligent modes are there, safety features, and pricing. Okay, obviously the pricing you're going to get, the Neo is going to come in at $199. The Flip is at $439. Although, and I think, in Marcus, if you're in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. I think one of the things that you said, and I don't know if it was from your experience flying it or from somebody else's, talked about flying the Flip is not like flying a DJI Mini 4K, Mini 4 Pro, that kind of thing. It has different flight and handling type of characteristics. It's not a typical DJI drone. It doesn't fly like a typical DJI drone. Okay, all right. Okay, Johnny. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Yep, he sure does. Okay. So, one of the things I can say is, from hearing it from him, and I think I've heard it from some other people too, is that the Flip has, it's not like it's not like flying a typical drone and getting that response from a typical drone. So don't expect that if you're getting a Flip, because the design is unique, and it's really it's very different, and I think you need to be prepared for that. And that's why, as I think about it right now, and that chart's up there, there's really nothing that intrigued me about either the Neo or the Flip to want to go ahead and get them. Now, if I would win one, I would gladly take it and I would test it. But at this point, I'm saving my nickels and dimes and my piggy bank for the Mavic 4 Pro when it comes out. And we're going to talk about that here coming up in a little bit. So just kind of beware if you're ordering, especially, understand with the Neo, okay, it's a great little drone, but it's something that you can't really use when there's anything more than a 10-mile-an-hour wind. And understand the camera is going to be what you would consider, and most of us who watch the show consider, kind of substandard. The camera on the Flip, however, is better, but understand it doesn't have the flight characteristics of, say, like a DJI Mini 3 Pro or Mini 4 Pro. So, just kind of like, weigh all this into mind if this is something that you're going to consider. Now, the price is right for the Neo, $199. And especially if you already have the controller, it's all set. You're all ready to go. And there's no SD card to mess around with, so you're all set. So this is a decision that personally is up to you. But for me, I'm saving my money for this. That's just kind of where I'm at. So, okay, that's good to know, Richard. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, because that really did need improved. So, and that's where things are on that. So, just kind of wanted to run that by everybody here. As I stated at the top of the show, my Osmo Action 4 Adventure combo is for sale because I'm getting an Action 5. Ron kind of twisted my arm. We'll just go with that. That's what we'll say there. Props off. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by tonight. So want to go ahead. Apparently, there was a firmware update on the Osmo Action 5, so we're going to go over that. Osmo Action 5 Pro's new firmware brings vivid color, smoother transfers. Firmware update adds must-have features. All right. One noticeable addition to the update is a new tone setting options in the video mode, neutral and vivid. While the neutral option provides natural color reproduction, the vivid mode enhances contrast and color depth, giving your footage a more dramatic and visually striking look. The feature works on normal color videos recorded in 1080p, 2.7K, both 4.3 and 16:9, and 4K 16:9 resolutions up to 60 frames per second. Whether you're capturing a sunset surf session or the rush of a downhill bike ride, the vivid mode will make every detail pop. Further, DJI has made the file transfers more efficient with this update by adding support for mutual transfer alliance, MTA standard. If you're using an Android smartphone from your Xiaomi, OPPO, or Samsung, you can now directly transfer Osmo Action 5 Pro footage to your mobile device. All you need to do is ensure your phone supports MTA, enable the sharing feature, and you're good to go. This is a huge convenience boost for creators who want to quickly edit and share their adventures straight from their phones, and that's a good thing if you're like that. I don't share from phones anyway. And Mr. Ron Brown is here. Welcome, sir. How are you?
Bill, I'm doing real good tonight. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Looks like there's a firmware update for the Osmo Action 5.
I got breaking news for you. As of this afternoon, I tried to do that update. Marcus tried last night, and at least for you in New Jersey and Idaho, that firmware update's not available. I've even going into the new map to force it to look for an update, and I don't get that. My number is a lower number than what they say in there, and I can't force it to update.
Wow, that's interesting. That's
So maybe that hasn't rolled out to all countries yet. Has anybody in the chat, have you been able to successfully update to the number that's the firmware number that's given in this article here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was wanting to see that as well too. I mean, it's a great enhancement. It really sounds like something really cool. But if it's not out there, it's like, wow.
Well, I mean, I don't think DJI's pushed. They haven't pushed this update in any of their media posts. So it's not like it's a letdown because they're not advertising it.
Right. Joni Oki said he was able to do it. Thanks for sharing, Joni.
Yeah, I mean, it may just be the area. You know how like an Apple rolls out their updates, not everybody gets it at the same time.
Yeah, because they don't want. I know. I can remember a few years ago there's an update for the Mavic 2 Pro, and it took forever because everybody was downloading it at the same time.
Right.
And I think that's what DJI was trying to avoid here. That everybody, was trying to, not download it at the same time, kind of a thing. Because I think that's probably where the problem was.
Yeah, if I remember, I'll try it again tomorrow.
That's just mysterious. You would think if it was geography based, maybe Marcus would have gotten it and you wouldn't have, or vice versa, or something like that.
And your theory about all the drones at the same time, but I don't think their action cameras are as popular as the drones. You wouldn't think this would really too many people at the same time would happen on their action camera.
Yeah. So it's just kind of mysterious why it happened like that. I don't get it. I mean, but it's a great enhancement. I mean, from what they're talking about, I really like what the firmware update does.
Lon's saying in the chat it's based on the serial number by lots.
Okay.
That makes sense.
That would make sense. That would make sense with that. So
apparently, Drone DJ, they must have a low serial number on their Action 5.
Yeah, and probably Joni Oki did too because he was able to get his updated. So interesting.
Yeah, all I can tell you is I ordered mine on day one, so it's not like I have a late model Action 5.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be ordering mine from Best Buy, so who knows? Just rolling the dice as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I did want to go ahead and cover right now is, and I saw this, and I think, and I sent this information right away to our good friend, hey, Castello. He got an article out there. I also sent it to Drone DJ. They didn't. Okay. White House breaks silence on East Coast drone mystery. Not the enemy here. And I'm going to play this clip right here for everybody. Let's see if I can kind of blow that up. Okay.
I do have news directly from the President of the United States that was just shared with me in the Oval Office from President Trump directly, an update on the New Jersey drones. After research and study, the drones that were flying over New Jersey in large numbers were authorized to be flown by the FAA for research and various other reasons. Many of these drones were also hobbyists, recreational, and private individuals that enjoy flying drones. In time, it got worse due to curiosity. This was not the enemy. A statement from the President of the United States to start this briefing with some news. And with that, I will turn it over to questions, and we will begin with our.
Okay.
I wonder what the first question was.
I kind of said the same thing myself too. So, I just and the instant reaction was, yeah, right. I went out to Twitter to take a look. A lot of people are very skeptical about that. And now I do remember, and this is before Trump took office, probably maybe 4 weeks ago, he had a press conference, and I think it was at Mar-a-Lago, when he talked about it, and he said they know what this is. They're not telling us, and I don't know why. I remember it was pretty short, it's maybe less than a minute or two. But he said that, and then this comes out today as well too. So I mean, and I'm taking it for what it's worth, okay? Because I saw some conspiracy theorists went out there and said there was a Chinese sub off the coast of New Jersey, and they were launching drones from the sub to spy.
Well, that came directly from the senator.
Yeah. Yeah,
the Iranian mothership, that's a direct quote from a senator who you think would have had, if this was actually a thing going on, he would have known that wasn't true.
He would have had some intelligence, and it just kind of boggles my mind here, Ron, because there's more than meets the eye to all this. All right, and I'm just going to say that, I want to take it at face value what we heard today. But who knows? Okay.
Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, a large number of those supposedly drone sightings were actually manned aircraft that people just can't tell the difference, whatever.
Right.
So you could throw out half of them are just manned, because New Jersey has a lot of air traffic. Flights going to Philadelphia, New York. There's a lot of airports in and around New Jersey. And her statement about the FAA, you say, well, if this was a military practice, and of course, even she can't say that, because you don't want our enemies to know the military's testing out new drones. So that should never be said. I mean, I know the public say they want to know, but I mean, you shouldn't satisfy the public over giving out military secrets to foreign governments. I mean, again, none of these drones fly over. There was no attacks. No drone did anything except fly over.
Yeah,
I mean, nobody would pick up the phone if a plane flew over their house or a helicopter flew over their house, right?
Right. And because we live in proximity to MacDill Air Force Base, we get Air Force planes and the Army helicopter, and when it's an Army helicopter because it has that whoop, 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 that real distinct sound to it, okay? And when we lived in our other house, we had those A-10 Warthogs, and they were maybe 200 feet off the ground, and the whole house shook, and you could tell it's a distinct kind of plane. And we would see other type of military, like their tankers are up there, and you can tell them because they have that boom and it hangs down from. So you see that stuff all the time, and I just think there's a lot of factors in this. I think it's the old, you tell a story to a kid at one end of the chalkboard, and 20 kids later it's a completely different story. All right, and I think you're dealing with a lot of people, you're dealing with a lot of maybe exaggerations here. Private pilots, private aircraft. You could have ultralights, which aren't quite as big as a private aircraft, and they're bigger than drones. I mean, there's a whole host of things this could be here. And I think probably what we got today was true, all right, but it may not be all the truth. That's what I'm thinking, all right. I think what we got.
I mean, they said that people in New Jersey, and they were, worried, about this stuff. And New Jersey has several Air Force bases. Atlantic City Airport's a military. Half of it's an Air Force base, or whatever. If there were any dangerous foreign things flying here in New Jersey, there's many Air Force bases that could go up and shoot them down anytime. We were never in any danger in New Jersey. Again, the Air Force is all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So,
like Lon says, probably she said as much as she could say, classified, because it was probably military operations.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's what that was.
Again, there's a whole bunch of military bases in New Jersey, Air Force bases.
Yeah. So, and here's the other thing that I'm going to say. We're going to kind of wrap this up, but nothing has happened for weeks on this. There has been. The hysteria is gone.
Right after Christmas, it was like it was the number one story in the local news every night, and then it went from like the lead story to like barely a mention.
Yeah, nothing, gone, history. Okay, not even talking about it. And then it comes up today in the first press briefing. I mean, nobody, and here's the thing, Ron, nobody was even talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Like you said,
And really, I'll tell you, even though I live in New Jersey, when you would go to the store, Starbucks, the bar, wherever you would go in New Jersey, that wasn't the hotbed of conversation. You didn't walk in. Nobody was in there worrying about the drones in the sky. That was never it was never the conversation here. It was on the news channels, but not among real people out and about or whatever. And if somebody did bring it up, it was just to mock it. I don't know one person in my town that was afraid that we were being invaded by foreign drones.
Yeah, and now Valerie and I talked about it back in December, and when I had my daughter and son-in-law down here, of course, my son-in-law is a drone flyer, and we talked about it, but then that's it. We haven't even, Valerie and I have, we talk about current events all the time. That hasn't even been on our radar, hasn't even talked and mentioned it. And then it comes up today, boom, out of nowhere. Really?
Yeah, I wondered how many follow-up questions there were from the reporters where they just kind of like skipped right by and started talking about something else too.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. If you want, I think you would have to watch the whole White House press briefing to get what the next question was. And I don't think they even followed up on that. I think they just went straight into other questions because there's so much else going on right now. So
right.
You're just
anyways, yeah. I mean, I again, the sad thing is, I think I put it. The population perception of drones, whether this was real or not, went down. Like drones became less favorable for no reason here.
Yeah.
Like when she said the thing, some hobbyist drone pilots completely legally flying around.
Yeah,
because when I interviewed a lot of mayors in New Jersey of these small towns, they all said it was illegal to fly at night. These mayors didn't even know the rules and regulations that
they don't even know.
As long as you have your 3 statute mile light on top of the drone or whatever, and your other lights in place, as long as you have your lights in place, your 3 statute, most importantly, and you follow all the drone rules and regulations, you're good for night flight.
Yep.
In Class G airspace.
Yeah. All right.
And it's not illegal to fly over somebody's house. I mean, I don't.
That's true.
Maybe it's not right to fly over somebody's house 1 foot over the house, but there's nothing at all. You're flying 100 feet over somebody's house. There's nothing illegal or even immoral about that.
Yeah, you're
not doing much spying at 100 feet. Especially at night.
Yeah, you're not going to see a whole lot. So, well, we're going to move on here.
You're not even going to do a good roof inspection at that height.
That's true. That's very true, Ron. There's more on the Mavic 4 Pro, and
every day.
What kind of surprises me here, Ron, is, and we'll get to some articles here in a second, but it's Chinese New Year right now, so they're on holiday. They're not even. Yes. The lights aren't burning over there in Shenzhen. Okay, right. Everybody's on holiday, and they take. I think it's a whole week. They're off. Is what I think it is. But then you go on to Drone DJ, and there's a couple articles here. I'm going to show the first article, which really
they're off, Bill, but the leakers don't take off.
No, Jasper Ellens and Igor Bogdanov, no, they don't take off here. Leaks of the upcoming DJI Mavic 4 have been hitting the internet in the past few weeks. The leaks are correct. The Mavic 4 will continue with a triple camera setup and a similar body redesign to the Mini 4 Pro. This will increase aerodynamics, enhance battery life, and potentially improve cooling for internal components. Okay. Now that was all there was here. So then I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the other article. And I know Hi Kesterlu had a good article on this as well too. So let me go ahead and do that here. All right. Leaked DJI Mavic 4 Pro testing footage reveals new features and specs. Okay. A night testing and camera system. The testing footage shared by Igor Bogdanov shows what appears to be some challenges during flight testing of the Mavic 4 Pro. The video reveals a more aerodynamic arm design and enhanced cooling system featuring a dedicated fan for thermal management of the drone's electronic components. All right. More significantly, Jasper Ellens shared footage highlighting the drone's camera capabilities. The remote controller display confirms 3 distinct zoom levels. 1x rumored to be 24 millimeter 2.5x rumored to be a 50 millimeter, and 6x 145 millimeters. The 24 and 50 millimeter cameras will likely both support D-Log recording, indicating DJI's commitment to professional grade aerial video quality. The addition of vertical video capture capability visible in the interface icons suggests DJI is adapting to current content creation trends, although it should be pointed out that the very first DJI Mavic Pro also had this feature here. Drone design and manufacturing. Additional images shared by Jasper Allen show multiple top covers of the Mavic 4 Pro and appears to be a controller production environment. These components reveal a refined industrial design that maintains DJI's signature aesthetic and gray color while incorporating new functional design elements here. The exposed internals visible in the testing footage indicate improved thermal management, with the aforementioned cooling fan suggested more powerfully processing capabilities that likely support the enhanced camera system here. Okay, possible release early 2025. The timing of these leaks, combined with reports of DJI clearing Mavic 3 inventory, strongly suggests a launch window in early 2025, possibly as soon as February or March. Hopefully before we see the Mavic 4 Pro drone hit by tariffs or possibly a DJI drone ban. The 3-camera system on the Mavic 4 Pro seems represents a significant upgrade from the Mavic 3 Pro's camera configuration. We expect significantly better image and video quality as well, better low light performance combined with greater freedom of movement and camera gimbal combo to get more testing and creative shots. These leaks indicate DJI's continued focus on professional users while maintaining the Mavic series accessibility. The vertical video capability particularly shows DJI's responsiveness to current content creation trends and market demands, making the Mavic 4 Pro the best all-in-one drone the Chinese drone maker will have on offer. The comprehensive testing program, despite some apparent challenges, demonstrates DJI's commitment to reliability and performance validation before release. Okay. Now, one of the things I want to talk about right here, okay, if you look at these prototype bodies that they have here, Ron, this is different from what we see up here with this, okay? I think it looks like a different type of design, like a more refined, and they also talk about it looking like a Mini 4 Pro type of body.
I've read that before too. I guess I don't know. I don't know if I'd mistake that for the Mini 4 Pro. That somebody said it.
That's what I thought. I find that real, interesting that this came out during this discussion, and that these pictures, whether Igor or Jasper posted these, I'm not sure. But if you look up front, it's a different look where the front part of this is when you compare it to what we've seen with, that one's probably not going, this is probably a little better, of right up here going around the front and having that whole front area exposed like that with the gimbal area. So, I don't know. This is going to be real interesting. But what do you think about the release? They're talking even as early as March right now with this.
Yeah, well, in the article, they even said February at one point. A couple of things, Bill. And you kept reading here. They kept calling it the Mavic 4 Pro, but other places call it the Mavic 4. Well, what will we see when it does get released? Whenever February, March, April, will we see a Mavic 4, or will we see a Mavic 4 Pro, or will we see both?
Wow, yeah, that's a really, really good question, because we were all hyped when the Mavic 3 was coming out, and we thought, and I remember specifically we were thinking there was going to be a Pro come out. No, it's just a Mavic 3 and a Mavic 3 Cine, and that was it. And then we had to wait a year for a Mavic 3 Pro.
It was more than a year.
Right. It was more than a year, exactly. So I mean,
Bill, the thing is, I don't want to buy a Mavic 4. I want to buy a Mavic 4 Pro.
Exactly.
So if they release a Mavic 4, we'll say March or whatever, I may not pull the trigger. I may say,
I wouldn't.
Pro.
Absolutely not, because I'm, like I said, there's a big reason why I didn't get a Neo and a Flip is I'm saving my nickels and dimes for a Mavic 4 Pro, not a Mavic 4, but a Mavic 4 Pro. I want the enhanced capabilities that it's going to have, and I think and I think Alon answered this question last week. One of the things that I had heard in several circles is people were saying, at first they were saying no LiDAR, But then Lon had mentioned, yes, it's going to have LiDAR. Lon, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I think that's one of the things that DJI is carrying over from the Air 3S for this, which I think is a very good thing because, as you well know, and I well know, with testing the Air 3S, that LiDAR is absolutely spot on and fantastic. It works
It's
so
a great
well.
asset to that drone. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it really makes a big difference. And I don't see why it would be foolish for DJI not to carry that on in a Mavic 4 Pro. That would just, it would not make sense for them to do that.
No, it would not. So yeah, I mean that's my big concern. Which Mavic are we going to see whenever release day is, or both, or whatever? Because already rumors out there are saying, well, the Pro won't be here for another 6 months. I don't know where they get that from. I'm not saying Jasper them said that. So yeah. That's one of my concerns. And Bill, here's another thing. Everybody's so excited over the Mavic 4. People are selling their Mavic 3s, and I saw somebody selling almost every drone they had, for the save up for the Mavic 4. But okay, of course it's going to have improved camera specs, but they don't look radically different. I mean, the sensor sizes kind of look the same. What's the standout feature so far that you've seen in these leaks of the Mavic 4 that make it a great leap forward for the Mavic 3? I don't see any so far.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Ron. One of the things that I did see is they're talking about probably like a 52-minute flight time. That would be different.
What was the flight time in a Mavic 3? Like 40 minutes or
42 minutes or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
So that would be an increase of about maybe 12 minutes with that, which I think is pretty significant. Okay, you're approaching an hour flying that.
Yeah.
Which I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
LiDAR on this, as Lon said,
we're saying that the leakers aren't saying LiDAR, so
right. But Lon's saying, he said in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not doubting him, but that I'm only kind of going on Jasper and them's leaks or whatever, so far.
Lon is the website. I got that. That's from Drone XL, Drone Oki, and it's I haven't posted and built a drone.
And Drone Oki, almost everything in there, all those clips Bill showed are all from either Jasper or Igor's Twitter feed.
Yeah, Jasper Allens or Igor Bogdanov on X, on Twitter. That's where they get all their information from. They're just regurgitating what they see out there.
Dr. B's saying he has the Air 3S. Does he need the Mavic 4? That's kind of what I'm hitting at here.
Ron has a good point here, and Dr. B, you do as well too. Because if you have an Air 3S, you got a good zoom on there. You got LiDAR on there. You got over 40 minutes, quote unquote runtime on there as well too. I mean, you have some outstanding features on there. It's in the eye of the beholder. Okay.
Especially, Bill, a lot of guys have the Air 3S and the Mavic 3 Pro. So guys that have that combination.
That's true. Well, that's what I have. I have the Air 3S and the Mavic 3 Pro.
Right. So it's going to take a lot to. I'm not going to say this is going to be a better drone than those two, but is it going to be substantially better?
Good point. That's a very good point. I think you can do things with the Mavic 3 Pro and with the Air 3S. You can do everything that the Mavic 4 Pro can do, but, and this is a big but, it's in two different packages. Okay, you'd have to fly two different drones to get that. Versus the Mavic 4 Pro, it would all be in one stop shopping. The other thing that I'm going to point out, and they've talked about this too, is this. I think they refer to it as stepless ND filters or electronic ND filters. That it's automatic. It's a setting on the Fly app that you would boom and your ND filters on there. Well,
I mean, that's a nice feature. I don't know if that's a groundbreaker, but it's certainly a nice feature to have. I mean, it's not that hard to put the ND filter on manually, but that's a nice feature. And Richard's saying variable aperture. Of course, all the Mavic 3 has a variable aperture. The Mavic Air, what was it? The Mavic 2S had the variable aperture. All the Mavics had the variable aperture. And the Phantom Pros. Yeah. And Eddie pointed a good native vertical on a 4/3 sensor with Hasselblad color science is huge.
That's a
yeah. But I'll go there. When I talk to drone flyers, native vertical video is one of the least required or requested features there is out there. Even Billy Kyle made that video where he said like he never shoots the native 4K. He always shoots vertical and just crops it down.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that because, okay, if you shoot vertical video, that's all you have. What if a client requests they want standard video, whatever? You could always cut down to vertical, but you can't expand to normal video if a client wants that. Maybe a future client wants that video that you took. If you only shot in vertical, you didn't have the full thing. So I don't know. Even pro video people that don't fly drones that just do ground video, they're the same mindset that they rarely ever shoot vertical video, only vertical video. They just crop down on a horizon video because, as we know, TikTok and Instagram only broadcast in 1080p. So what good is it 4K video doing you on a 1080p app?
That's huge, Ron. That is huge. Well,
Ron's got the 100 megapixel sensor, but again, where you posting those 100 megapixel pictures, not on Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, you can't. These mediums, the cameras are ahead of the apps. Or
they're ahead of the internet. These apps do that
exactly,
to save bandwidth because they all want them to work well on mobile phones in all environments.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head there, Ron, because this content is being consumed. I would say 90% of that is going to be on a smartphone and maybe even higher. Okay, and it's not going to be in 4K. It's going to be in 1080p. So getting all this, kind of getting the cart before the horse kind of thing with this, because as we talked about, like when Autel came out with 8K, okay, and everybody's going bonkers over that. But what, to get an 8K television is like what, $20,000 or something? I mean, it's just outrageous.
Right. Yeah. So just watch your own video because it's not like your cable carrier can stream 8K video for you.
Yeah.
So Scott's still trying to get that Air 3S.
Yeah, I saw that.
If you ever get it, Scott, you're gonna love that drone.
Yeah. That's a good point, Oren. You're going to pull the Mavic 4 Pro for a $200 job if you have a Mini 4 Pro or an Air 3 or an Air 3S. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. So, Lon has two 8K TVs.
Yeah, to watch his own 8K video that he shoots.
Yeah, well, Lon's going to be having. Was there a rumor that he's going to be giving away one of those at South Florida Drone Meetup?
Yeah, but no free delivery.
No free delivery. It's pickup only.
Yeah, pickup
in the
only,
vicinity.
Yeah.
But getting back to and these are some good points here, Ron. I really like where we're going with this. The other thing that people have talked about with this too was the pricing structure on it, and
and that got bumped up a little bit in the recent release.
Yes, and I saw that. And what are your thoughts about that? I mean, do you think?
Well, but I saw it bumped up to starting about 2,600, which seems more. That's more what I would have believed than the 2,200 that the Mavic 3 was. I thought there'd be a price bump, but I guess a $400 price bump is somewhat reasonable, Bill.
I agree for the feature set that's going to come on the Mavic 4 Pro. I think that's very reasonable. It's very doable.
Yeah, that's it. That's a reasonable price if they eat the tariffs again. Yeah.
Well, the other thing that really begs a lot of questions on this too, and I know I've been kind of saying that, the RC Pro is now what? It's been out at least 2 years.
It was released right alongside the Mavic 3, so that would have been when I was at Spin Up in fall of 2021. So
it's been out for 3 years. So it's a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
And I really can't help but believe that DJI is going to have a replacement for that here when they come out with a Mavic 4 Pro.
Yeah, well, the old one costs what, like $12.99. So who knows what this thing will cost?
Yeah, it's still right now. If you were still to buy it from DJI or out on Amazon, it's still right around $900, $1,000 to get that.
Wow. Wow.
So it's still kind of pricey. So they may bundle that together, and that's when getting a Mavic 4 Pro will be really expensive, because you'll probably be spending what, $3,300, $3,400 on something like that.
Well, yeah. Oh, that'll put you at the 2,600 starting. That puts you about $4,000. And you only got one battery so far, Bill.
Yeah, one battery for $4,000 with that. Wow. That's
once you get two more batteries or whatever, the batteries will be $250. Now you're up to about $4,500. You don't. And we don't. Well, let's hope they don't make the mistake. Remember, they put a bad flyboard combo out for the Mavic 3, where maybe they need to get a good flyboard combo where you can get the good controller, the Pro controller, 2 batteries. Don't charge us a fortune for a case nobody wants.
Yeah. They're throwing that in too, and those cases are an afterthought as far as I'm concerned. Because
you can send that thing caseless as long as you put the Pro controller and the 2 extra batteries in there.
Yeah.
And I guess we won't need ND filters for this one, Bill.
No, you won't. That's where you'll be saving some money there. And, you could use that to go ahead and buy things like, maybe you can buy your batteries a la carte if you wanted to. And here's another thing, and I'm going to throw this at you, okay? Because I know with the Mavic 3 Pro right now, all right, I've never used more than one battery at a time on it. And I'll fly for maybe 35, 40 plus minutes, obviously. But I've done everything I wanted to do on my flight. I'm not going to, and I have my other batteries sitting there, and I'm like, I got everything. I don't need to go up again and do this. I mean, and I don't know about for you, Ron, with what you do, and I don't know if for the real estate work that you do, if that would play into this or not. But for me, probably the most I would get would be 2 batteries. I'm not going to get having a need for a 3rd battery unless I'm working a job for somebody in multiple job sites. I'm not going to need that.
Yeah. Oh, you said sometimes I'm not that busy. I rarely have 2 jobs in one day. But when I do, it's nice just to put use one battery a job or whatever. But sometimes when I just go out film my own, I'm doing like a little road trip, just down here in New Jersey. Sometimes, I'll have a, battery for each location I stop at.
Oh, thank you, Lon, for posting that. I thank you.
4,000 shipped. Well, well, I guess that's like a Mavic 4, huh?
Yeah, that's a Mavic 4 right there in and of itself. So,
well, and the Mavic 4, we've heard the rumors in 6K. So Lon's 8K will handle that with no problem.
Oh yeah, you'll be good to go, Lon.
Yeah, I mean, most people want to take 6K. I know, the things that are 5K, like 5, they always. I don't know why 5K is the only way to get the point, but the things that are 5.3K, 5.4K, they usually say they let you crop in, like you could go 2x crop on that 5 point something K, and you don't lose any resolution. So I know that's 8K you can crop in multiple times and not lose any resolution. So that's the big advantage for most people is that you can punch in and not lose resolution at those higher Ks. But I mean, of course, we are drone pilots. If we really need to get closer to something, we just fly closer. But I know what people are going to say. When you get home, you wish you would have flew closer to whatever you were filming. And if you had the higher K, you have the option of just punching it at home.
That's true. That's very true.
That's not something every drone flyer is going to do. Maybe some drone flyers are never going to do that, but it is nice to know it's there.
No, I didn't know that, Lon. I did not know that.
Yeah, wow. Lon, it's not my videos.
It's not mine either. That's for sure. I
mean, Lon makes good points, but Bill, you and I know more people watch 1080p video on YouTube than anything else, probably.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that for a second at all. As far as that's concerned, one of the other things I kind of want to tie in here with the Mavic 4 Pro is this. I began one of the articles I talked about. Obviously, and Scott Nadeau has experienced it. Unfortunately, is the holdup through customs and everything. And with talk of tariffs and everything like this, I gotta believe DJI is going to accelerate getting this out. So I would say the sooner we're going to see it sooner rather than later. it may be as early as February. You know, if their beta testing has gone well enough that they can say, okay, we're going to go ahead and get this out because we want to beat any tariffs or any other surplus charges or anything like that.
I think Drone DJ had an article yesterday talking the same things happen with the Flip. Not everybody, but random people are getting their Flip stuck in customs too. So
yeah, I did
rarely
see
happens,
that.
not to everybody, but it does happen. So that's I guess that's something to consider too.
Yeah, and I think
nobody loses the money when this happens. DJ refunds the buyers.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, all in all, I really think that we're going to see this sooner rather than later. I think we probably might see it mid to late February kind of a time frame, because I know they're really starting to push this tariff narrative right now, and not just on Chinese goods, but we're talking about all over. Okay. You know, they was talk from the White House about that today as well too. Not being political here, folks, just talking about, you know, wanting to help the U.S. economy and charging tariffs. Okay. And I'm not an economic expert, so don't, I mean, I consider myself more of a drone expert than an economic expert. All right. So if I balance my checkbook, that's the economic expert that I have here. Okay. That's what we get with that. But I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. I think we kind of hit the pricing, the nail on the head on the pricing. We pretty much have a good idea of everything that's going to be on here. Real interested to see how that body pans out, because I know a lot of people said with that initial look at that, people were saying it's like, not very visually appealing. But Ron, you and I know
I've never bought a drone based on looks. I'm not buying a sports car here. I'm buying a tool.
Right. Okay. Marcus buys his Corvettes based on looks and performance.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
He doesn't base it, solely. I mean,
we talked about this last week. Remember, the Millennium Falcon looked like a bunch of junk, but it was the fastest ship in the galaxy.
Exactly here. So, take all this into account when you're thinking about this. That's my 2 cents worth on all this. So we'll see. I think we'll see something like again. I think this is going to happen sooner rather than later. Because I think DJI wants to beat the tariffs and any possible implications of anything going on here. So we'll see.
Of course, a lot of that's based on how the testing's going, right? If the drone's not flying correctly, that could push some of this timeline back. So firmware issues, things like that, could push release dates back.
And that's true, Johnny Oki. They may be out already. Okay. Billy and Rick Smith and Dobo and Russ and everybody may already have them and may be testing them right now. We don't know. Because
obviously the test units are out in China.
Yeah, they're out in China, and you can see they had an issue with the night problem. So and these are things. And this is kind of what's real interesting about all this pre-testing or this beta testing that they do here. It's kind of in line with what I do at work on my job. Is I do a lot of software type testing before it goes out into production. Okay, so basically I'm doing what they're doing with the Mavic 4 Pro, is putting it through its paces and pushing it and trying to get it to perform like it's supposed to perform.
But just like that, you have to slow down some software because it's not testing out well.
Exactly.
So
exactly. So we'll see how all this pans out. So
okay. Hey, Bill, I know you're trying to finish up here, but I'll bring this topic up just real fast. The DJI Flip. Since we've been following this DJI, whatever, is this the first time they released we'll call it a dud or a hit? This is the first time they didn't release a hit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't think of a drone. Maybe some the better, but this is the first time I can remember. This is absolute not a hit.
Yeah. And I know. And I think it was Marcus who said when he was flying it, he says it doesn't fly like a typical drone.
He did say it got a firmware update, so it's flying better now.
Right, and I know
just the other day it got an update.
Richard said that as well too. So that's good to hear. But two things.
Richard sent his back though.
Yeah, he did send his back. For me, I opted not to sell my Neo, and I opted not to get a Flip because I'm saving for the Mavic 4 Pro. I mean, if I win them at the South Florida drone meetup, I'll gladly take them. But to go out and buy one right now, I would not do that because I don't have a use case for either one of them. Even them putting them on the channel.
I mean, the Neo seemed to be a hit, though. Whether we want it or not, the Neo seemed to be a hit with the public.
Yeah, the Neo,
where the Flip doesn't seem like it. I mean, outside of a few people, it really doesn't have many fans.
Ron, I think what they were trying to do with the Flip was they were trying to replicate the Hover. Okay, and
and the Hover doesn't seem to be much of a hit either.
Yeah, and that that got Hover got real pricey with some of the options on it.
Right.
And,
that's 8K too.
Yeah. Eddie was saying he likes
the Hover over the Flip. I think anything over the Flip.
Yeah.
Well, until the Spark was a big hit, a lot of people had the Spark.
Yeah, and
you're right. It may not fly the best. You could say the Spark wasn't the greatest, but it was definitely a big hit because of the price. Everybody had that Spark at one time.
The Spark was a hit because of the price.
It was the first small drone.
Right. And the thing for me about the Spark was 10 minutes and you were done. It had 15-minute battery life. Boom, done.
You had to get your footage fast in those days.
Yeah. You had to get out there because you had so much time. I had like 6 minutes to get out there, do what I'm going to do, and 6 minutes to get back. And, by that time, the battery's gone. It's like, it's like on beeping at 20% when it's landing. So,
and that didn't have any OcuSyncs. That didn't go that far anyways. So you didn't have to worry about getting back.
That's true. That's very true because of how the controller was. I mean, that was just, wow. That was a very interesting drone.
So again, I don't say, I'm not saying it was a hit because it was a great drone, but it was a hit because people bought it. The Flip, I'm not knocking that. That's not a good selfie drone, whatever, but just doesn't seem to be a hit among the general public, at least in the drone community. Maybe to
the drone community,
bloggers it is, but not to the drone community.
Yeah, I agree, Ron. I agree. So,
hey, Bill, you brought up the New Jersey drones a while ago, flying in the air, whatever people see. But I'm more concerned with all those flags I see flying at the air at Chiefs games. I see these mysterious flags. They come out of nowhere. There's no penalty, but the flag still flies.
Well, it was funny because I found a meme today, and I was like, I was tempted to show it tonight, but I'll tell it to you. What somebody did was they put, and I think I might have even shared it with you, is they put together, and they had to do it through AI, a picture. It had Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Roger Goodell, and an NFL referee with pajamas on in bed underneath the covers. Okay. That was just, too funny. And then I put out something out there was, I didn't think I could hate a team more than the New England Patriots and Kansas City Chiefs. Say, hold my beer, okay?
Yeah. There's another meme with the refs, like two refs get together and they go to their homes. Well, you should have your own flag to throw during the game. Yeah. Well, let me just say this, Bill.
Sure.
Josh Allen got that first down on 4th one, and Worthy never caught that ball at the 5-yard line.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and yeah.
How about the very last play for Buffalo when Allen threw that pass to the tight end, and the tight end dropped it. There was a flag flown. Even Romo saw it. Even the NBC had the flag logo up. But when they found out it was an incomplete pass, that flag disappeared.
Yep, it got picked up right away.
But it was there just in case he caught that ball.
Yeah. Well, this goes back to me, and this is our NFL segment here. This goes back to me with the whole thing about Deflategate and Brady and Belichick stealing signals from the other team and all that, okay? And the sad thing about it is, and I'm going to draw a parallel here, New England didn't need to do that. They were
the same thing now. Kansas City is probably the best team. They don't need any of these
they
calls.
don't need to do that. See, that's the thing that just floors me beyond belief, Ron, is they don't need to do that. Mahomes is a great quarterback. I mean, the defensive schemes that Kansas City uses are out of this world, okay? I mean, they're a great team. I don't.
Tomlin could use a few of those flags in his games, there, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But and that's the thing that gets me on this. It's just
yeah. I'm not even saying Kansas City only wins because of the flags. Kansas City is probably the best team regardless of the flags.
Yeah. Let the game play out like it's supposed to. Oh,
yeah, look, Richard has a comment about Buffalo. But
yep.
Richard, you're saying that, but all the teams that lose to them had the same statement.
Yeah.
Look at you, Billy. Did you hear that? Houston Texans. They're the only team in NFL history in a playoff game that outgain the other team by 100 yards, not have a turnover, and lose the game somehow.
Lose the game. Yep. They played well, and they played well against Kansas City too. They played well against them. I mean, I give Kansas City all kind of credit, okay? And Andy Reid, he's done tremendous there. They've done great with their personnel decisions. They are.
Mahomes is amazing.
Mahomes is fantastic. He's going to challenge Brady for being a GOAT. He may surpass Brady. Who knows? Okay, that's all well and good. But the whole thing is this: they don't need to do the games that they're playing right now to get them where they're getting. Okay, they can do it on their talent alone because they're that talented. Bottom line.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Lon's saying it sounds like Sal Grace. He's not a KC fan, but you just heard Bill and I. We're that's how we just told you KC is the best team in the league. They don't need those fan calls.
Yeah.
The Texas game is admitted taking a flip, not called. Yeah, that and again, the play where Houston got called for roughing, and their players hit each other in the helmet. They didn't even hit Mahomes.
They hit Mahomes. Yeah. Oh well, I was out, and it was a Thursday night. It was on Amazon Prime, and my wife and I were at a sports bar, and we were having dinner that night, and it was one of those ones. And I think it was Herb Street because he does the Thursday night Prime games with Al Michaels, and he just was like, he said, Al, I can't believe this. All right,
right. Even the announcer, well, how about Aikman? Aikman streaked in that Texans game when they called that penalty, whatever. Hey, I don't want to get you off subject, but Christopher, what has a question for you about Specta? How do you create an account for Specta Mini?
It's only letting me log in, but not having an account for it. Can you please help? Chris, email me at billthedronereviewer@gmail.com, and I will send you Specta's email address, and I know they'll be able to help you out with that because I had some issues with that at first, but you should be able to do that. And I use you use the same account. Like if you have a Mini or if you have the Air as well too, it's the same account for both. So just go ahead and send me an email, billthedronereviewer@gmail.com, and I'll get you that contact information. Specta will get back to you overnight. They're very good about that. So thanks for your question, Chris.
Well, I guess next Tuesday night we'll make our Super Bowl picks, huh?
Yeah, it'll be next week. We'll make our.
You have to pick the Chiefs, the Eagles, or the referees.
Well, you know what I really wanted.
I may go with the rest, Bill.
Yeah. You know what I really wanted? I really wanted the Eagles against the Bills, and I wanted Allen knocked out, and I wanted Mahomes knocked out. So it would have been Kenny Pickett against Mitch Trubisky. Okay?
There you go. Yeah.
That would have been wow. Okay.
The battle of the X10 backups, huh?
Think about it. Kenny Pickett, okay, he really did not want, he didn't like Tomlin's games and everything, and he was very vocal, and they traded him to the Eagles. Here he is. He's gonna, if the Eagles win, he'll won a Super Bowl. And I'm like, that's the closest anybody.
Yeah. Whether he plays or not, he's got a Super Bowl ring to flash around.
Yeah, and here, listen to this, okay? He was picked. One of the reasons the Steelers picked him was because of Tomlin. Tomlin wanted him, okay? When they drafted him, he told the general manager at the time, Omar Khan, said, I want Pickett. I like him, okay? So this will be a first if the Eagles do win. One of Mike Tomlin's picks actually goes and wins the Super Bowl, okay? He's never had that happen before. God only knows him needing a feather in his cap right now, okay?
Right,
and then
right.
today,
Well, Yeah, yeah. Well,
Well,
the way it
today,
is now, if Carson Wentz has to go against Kenny Pickett, the backups who do have to play, you probably like Carson Wentz, huh?
yeah,
Over
okay.
Pickett.
Well, today was media day with Art Rooney II, okay, in
Okay.
Pittsburgh. And what they do is they handpick the reporters that come there, okay?
Okay.
All right. Yeah, handpick. And
Now,
all these guys,
is the old man Art Rooney that I know, is he the grandfather of this young Art Rooney?
no, this is Art Rooney II, okay? His grandfather was Art Rooney Sr., and his dad was Dan Rooney, okay?
So this is the old Art Rooney I know's grandson.
Correct, okay?
Okay.
All right. And he literally has had nothing to do until his dad, Dan Rooney, got too sick to handle the team. He took over. But you know what he did for a living for like 30 or 40 years? Was a lawyer, okay?
Oh.
Had nothing to do with football. Zero. He comes in today. He said, I was just fuming after I read some articles by some of the Pittsburgh sports announcers and the questions that they asked him. And they did ask him about Tomlin and said, he had word salad that makes Mike Tomlin proud. Okay. I mean, just the guy was just, and I said, you know what? And this is one thing that I will say this. All right. All Art Rooney II cares about is making a profit, not winning championships. As long as if Tomlin if they're winning enough and getting their non-losing seasons, they're putting bodies in that stand, they're getting merchandise sold at the shops, and their people are getting, and they get revenue from NFL Sunday Ticket. If people are doing those things, he's a happy camper because they're making money. That's all.
Let me ask you this question, Bill. If the Steelers return next season with the same coaching staff and the same quarterbacks they have right now, what are their chances of making Super Bowl next year?
I think this, and I'm going to say this, and I've talked about it with several of my friends, longtime friends who are Steeler fans. I think next year they're going to have a losing season. It'll be the first one, and the world's going to fall apart. Okay, all the Tomlin lovers are not going to know what to do or say. I think they're going to have a losing season.
That could probably be the end for Mike.
It might just be. Well, Tomlin said, I carry these bags of these 5 losses in a row and losing in the playoffs. It's my baggage to carry. I said, no, the only thing that you carry, Mike Tomlin, is that paycheck from Art Rooney II to the bank every week. That's the only thing that you carry. Yeah.
You could use the old Art Rooney back for a little while, huh?
Oh my gosh. Art Rooney Sr. or Dan Rooney. Dan Rooney ran that team like a football team. It was like it was supposed to be run, okay?
Right.
I wrote a letter to the Steelers. He wrote me a letter back, Dan Rooney, okay? Just an incredible person. I had none of abuse but praise for him. Well, he was the one, was instrumental, how you posted the legendary draft picks that we got today.
Wow. What's telling people about that? In 1974 draft, the Steelers drafted Swan and Stallworth. That's Lynn Swan, and what was Stallworth's first name?
John Stallworth.
The great center Mike Webster and Jack Lambert.
All
in one draft.
Oh.
No wonder they won a Super Bowl that year.
Oh, it just absolutely floors. And it was Dan Rooney. He was the architect of all that.
Oh, okay. Even when because Art was always hugging the plays, but it was Dan doing the work, huh?
Yeah. Well, Dan he had football knowledge. He had just a great football mind. Okay.
Well, obviously back then, between Noel and Dan Rooney, football men ran the football program, right?
Yeah, and Josh Book just put it up there. They keep talking about, they're going to make changes and this and this and this. Okay, it's like, what's the definition of insanity? You keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah, and I don't know about Russell Wilson, but this is 10 years ago. Russell Wilson may have won a Super Bowl for him, but this isn't Russell Wilson in his prime.
Oh, and he did say, we'll kind of wrap things up here. He did say we can only keep Wilson or Fields, not both. And I think Wilson's going to go and there's really strong rumors because Pete Carroll is now coach of the Raiders. Yeah. That he's going to go over to the Raiders are going to pony up $100 million. I like Russ. Russ is a great guy, fantastic guy, but Father Time has caught up to him. Okay, it's very evident with the way.
Wait a minute. But I think the Seattle got rid of Russell Wilson in Carroll's last year there. Carroll's the one it let him walk out of there.
Right.
And put the guy in that used to be on the Jets. Forget that guy's quarterback now, but Carroll's the one who replaced Wilson.
Well, supposedly what I've read is they've mended fences and Wilson's been talking to him.
Wow.
So we'll see how that plays out. So, but more power to Russ. I like him personally. I think he's a great guy.
Is Wilson a free agent, or the Steelers get something for him?
Well, no, he signed a 1-year contract with them.
So they don't get anything for him. Yeah.
So okay. Any other thoughts to wrap up here, Ron?
No, just I guess we're all down. It's all down and looking for the Mavic 4 or 4 Pro over the next few weeks or months or whatever. We don't really have anything else on the radar, this time of year, at least for drones from DJI. I mean, there's still rumors about a 360 camera, a nano camera, something like that could pop out. Oh, there is a gimbal, not a phone gimbal, but a camera gimbal. Rumors out there that's coming soon, an RS something or another. But
I did see that too.
As far as drones from DJI, this is about it for what it's going to be summer before we're probably talking about another drone, right?
Yeah, and I think you're right as far as that's concerned. So, but I echo your sentiments as far as that's concerned. I think this is what going to be our focus and our attention for some time, and I think that 360 camera would be very interesting. I'd be real interested to see how that plays out. So we'll see. I'm interested to see your new Insta360 review on your action cam that you get.
The Ace Pro too. Of course, I'm kind of homebound because of the cold, windy, and wet weather. So I've done a couple of indoor tests making videos. It seems to work well, but I hope to get it outdoors before I make the. If not, I'll have it outdoors in Florida in March. When I head
there, you go.
Bill, I think I'll be there from the 27th to whenever the 27th of February to whenever the meetup's over.
Oh wow, you and Susan are gonna have a great time. That's fun. No, where are you gonna stay?
At the place we stayed 2 years ago, this Jupiter Bay, which is about half hour, 45 minutes south of the meetup in Stewart.
Right, that's perfect. That's perfect.
So I may be doing some shows from the. We may be doing dual Florida shows here.
There we go. How about that? Well, maybe I might pop on over and make a guest appearance over there.
There you go. Yeah.
How about that? That'd be good. That would be real good. I'll just close with this. We finally our weather has finally changed for the better down here.
Oh, good.
We're finally up into the days. We're getting back up into the high 60s, low 70s. But we had a cold snap here that was just, we had to break out our winter coats, and I've never had to break out my winter coats. And somebody about 45 minutes west of here said that they thought they spotted snow on the ground.
Wow.
It got, and a lot of times what can happen is that moisture will freeze in the air and it may look like snow, but it's not really snow according to our meteorologists. So
fake.
All right.
We're warming up too, Bill. We're making it back up to the low 40s.
Yep. Josh, I agree with that.
100%.
I kind of wear this a little bit as tongue in cheek because I think, to me, just to let you know, Josh, I think they need to get stripped down to the studs, and everybody's available, including Sidney Crosby.
So you got two teams in Pittsburgh that need a little overhaul.
All three of them do, Ron. All three of them do.
Well, the Pirates are handicapped by the payroll, right?
Right. Well, Nottingham doesn't want to spend money. Their owner. He doesn't want to spend any money. So
right.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. As always, it's a great day to fly. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening.